What's up, YouTube? Coach Reeves back here with a video review of the Rogue competition rack. So I know it's been quite some time. I've been absent from YouTube and making some videos, but the business was busy. I've been coaching a lot, and finally with a lot of our college athletes leaving, it frees up some time for me to get back to some of this stuff, and I really do enjoy it. So we're gonna start out with the Rogue competition rack review, but also I'm gonna give you guys a little tour of my home gym setup that I currently have. And as you can see, the ceiling heights are kind of low, so it's just perfect for me. No overhead pressing, but I can do everything else. So you see here, we've got the Rogue competition rack. There's the bench that goes with it. The bar I'm using in here primarily is the Elite FTS power bar. We'll go over that. You can see the box squat pad from Elite FTS in the box. Got these Troy dumbbells with Stray Dog dumbbell racks and a bunch of different stuff in here. Got the Rogue Kilo competition plates. So what we'll do is kind of bit by bit go over some of this equipment, but to start out, we're gonna go over the Rogue competition rack. So stay tuned and let's talk about the pros and cons and likes and dislikes and all the little details I've kind of figured out using this rack. It was interesting to put together, and I'll give you guys some insight on that because there was no videos when I went to do this. I definitely made a couple mistakes, so hopefully I can help you guys from making those mistakes if you decide to go with this rack. All right, so to start out the assembly, everything was very clear in the instructions and it was super simple. The one thing that got me was with these uprights, right? As you can see here, they're able to lean in and lean vertical, right? So right now it's vertical, and this is what they call set up for a bench, right? So they're gonna be vertical, and it's just kind of like any Rogue rack setup. You have the option of lifting this up, and when you lift it up, you can push this upright in, and this goes back down into pin. So when I went to do the setup, there's this pin down here. So you guys can see that. And when I was going through the setup, the instructions were a little bit confusing, and maybe it's just me, but I had put together tons of fitness equipment. You guys may or may not know, I've owned a private training facility for 10 years, and I've moved from 3 locations. So within the 3 locations, there's been a lot of acquisition of a lot of Rogue fitness equipment, Titan, you name it, I've had it. So this step was a bit confusing. So what I forgot to do, or what I didn't do or didn't understand in the instructions, was that pin is in the rack. You're to remove that pin, and when you insert that upright down into this, which accepts the upright, this little metal piece right here, it goes in there, then you reinsert that pin. So that was the one thing that I didn't do. So when I was using the rack, I was using it without that pin in there, and it was a little flimsy. I was like, this doesn't seem right because this is made to hold, 1,200 pounds. There's been some huge lifts done on these racks. So I figured it out pretty quick, got it fixed. It was actually quite easy to fix, but just one of those things I didn't realize. As far as adjusting, it's very simple. You've got these arms here that you pick it up, you place here, and then you lift up and down, right? So you can adjust it simple if you have multiple lifters going at one time. If you're using one of these for competition, which they're approved for competition for several federations, it's easy to go up and down. Figuring out the ins and outs of how to raise and lower it was took me some time because I'm unfamiliar with these competition racks, but after like 2 uses, you start to figure it out. These are amazing that this rolls back and forth with ease. I've had upwards of like 550 pounds on the bar, and it just moves back and forth nice and easy. You also have it on your bench arms. Super nice touch. It's got the plastic, so it's not gonna mess up your bar at all. If anything, you're just gonna put indentations in the plastic, which they're replaceable, so that's completely fine. The safeties are really good. There's videos out of people putting 700 pounds on them and the rack doesn't move. So they are very good. They're useful. You can set them up for squat, It just depends on your height. Like I'm 5'9", right? So when I'm low bar squatting, I'd say I'm probably, you know, that far off the safety. So it's just a simple lean in, and you know, I can bail with the weight because I'm training alone down here, and I'm training alone in gear. So it makes it a little bit nerve wracking, you know, because I'm trying to touch loads that are above my 100% of a raw max. But so far, no issues. You know, I haven't failed a squat. I have failed a bench in the shirt. But I had the safety set up to where I just came down. You know, I had my arm had to pop out to well, not, that's probably not a good use of words, but my arm had to slide out because the bench shirt's so stiff. But it was fine. No injuries, no issues. It came down safely, and I was able to unload the bar and live to see another day. So the safeties do a really good job. They move up and down, adjustable. You can do rack pulls on them. They go low enough to do some rack pulls. Maybe it's going to be right below your knee, depending on your height. So that's a really good feature. The other thing you have is these legs here, right? So I'm a big fan of west side periodization or conjugate periodization. And you know, you're going to use bands and chains and things like that. I have not yet set up bands down here, but I'm trying to figure out how that would work since these legs go out at an angle. So, you know, I'm just gonna have to play with it a little bit, but I definitely know that there's a way to do it. If I have to, I could put 100-pound dumbbells out and attach the bands, or I was thinking I could put the band physically underneath the leg so it's pulling upright. But the rack weighs about 550 pounds. So if you are gonna use bands, I would suggest mounting the rack to the floor. Or, you know, you could take some big dumbbells, take your 100-pound dumbbell and place it right there. So that's going to secure the leg down a little bit more, so you don't have to worry about that rack flipping over on you. And you know, that would be pretty catastrophic if that happened. So like I said, it does come with little mounting brackets to mount into concrete if you choose to do that. As I said before, this isn't going to be the permanent place for my home gym, and it might not be the permanent place for this competition rack. So we'll see what I end up doing with that. I'm going to now set this up for bench. You guys can see what it looks like with the bench put in. Most tedious things about this rack is this bench, I feel like, weighs about 150 or 200 pounds. It's just insanely heavy. So I'm gonna let you guys see how I have to go about getting the bench into these inserts, which is actually very easy. I've never not gotten it into the inserts in the first try. The hardest thing is, and I know I shouldn't be complaining about this because I bought this to get stronger, but this bench is heavy as crap. So here we go. Voila. So that's as simple as it is getting the bench in there. It does have these optional little plastic pieces like this that screw in that'll secure the bench, but once you have it in there, it's really not going anywhere. Super nice touch. Let me bring you guys up so you can see this. It's got these safety spotter arms, so those are great. I think that's an amazing touch for competition, right? If you have somebody lifting some crazy weight, your handler, whoever's lifting the weight off to you, has some leverage to be able to help you pull that weight out. And then what we have to do next is get this set up for my bench setup. So now to lower these J hooks down, because this is where you put the bar for squat, this is where you're going to put it for bench. So I've already lowered the bar down for the bench setup. The first thing you have to do is lower the safety. So this is secured to keep the safety in place. We'll loosen this up. As you see, when you do that, the safety wiggles a little bit. Pull onto the pin, lower the safety down. tighten this back up, and once it's tightened, you see this is secure, it's not going anywhere. There's no gap here up against the ER rack either. I already have this up here, but I'll show you again. So you lift this up, put it under your bench pin, right? Lift up, remove your squat pin, put it into its safety area or where you store it, set this back, that side's done, right? These are all numbered really well too, so I'm gonna show you guys that. It's very easy to know where you're putting your pin. You've got these lasered numbers in here, which is a really nice touch by Rogue. So I set that up there, and then you just do the same thing to the other side and you're ready to go. As far as like some of the things I dislike, this is a sticker, you know, I mean, and Coop from Garage Gym Reviews kind of talks about this stuff. Like, this is, I spent thousands of dollars on this, you know, so it's something easy to do. Just don't give me this cheap sticker, right? It starts to peel off. Either just keep it off there or put something back here. This area is going to be brushed on by this spotter arm, so that sticker is going to be just destroyed, and that's kind of annoying that they didn't think about that. Which, again, it's not a big deal. You're using this to lift weights. It's going to get messed up. It's going to get dirty. That's going to happen. But for the money that you're spending, you would think they'd either laser etch that in somehow or put it back here on the other side where it's not going to get messed up. The fat pad, you have to go with the fat pad. That's Donnie Thompson product. He's an amazing guy. He's done a lot for the strength and conditioning powerlifting community with a lot of the equipment he's put together. Body tempering, the fat pads, the fat bells, and a lot of things like that are just amazing products. But I won't bench on anything but a fat pad, and this is a competition fat pad. So this is actually approved for competition. It's competition height, competition width, but some of the benefits that you get that maybe you guys aren't aware of is that more coverage of your back and the more cushion is actually going to help reduce risk of injury. It's proven to decrease pec tears and just keep the athlete a little bit safer. So for a little bit extra money, you can keep your body safer and prevent yourself from, you know, blowing out a pec. I'm going to do that, but it just right off the bat feels way better than any other bench you've ever used, in my opinion. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up today's video. So hopefully you took away some valuable information regarding the Rogue combo rack, and you can make a better decision if you think it would suit your home gym needs. And like I said, I'm going to use this in my commercial or private facility. It's a public facility, but we do private training in there, and hopefully I can open up a powerlifting corner, a powerlifting side for that, as I have a lot of the stuff you need for that. But in the time being, I'm going to utilize it at home. And as you can see in my training clips I provided, so you guys can kind of see it in action, and you even get to see me fail. I think it's like a 180 kilo bench off the Elite FTS pad. So I'm trying to break in my bench shirt and figure out how to use it. So you see how the setup worked out. And, you know, I was completely safe failing that and coming out from underneath the bar. So this rack is great if you're training independently. And the same thing with the squat. Those uprights will come up and provide safety for you if you have to bail out on a squat. If you're a bigger lifter, a taller lifter, you might have some issues with that. But like, you know, if you guys have any questions about how to set this thing up or put it together, assemble it, feel free to comment below or email me or follow me on Instagram and shoot me a message. More than open to help out if there's any issues with that. Like I said, it was pretty easy and straightforward, other than those bolts down at the bottom, which I went over with you guys. So thanks for watching today's video. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, stay tuned for more content. I'll see you guys next time.